bleeds, image bleeds, and image wraps, or another word to say it is text wraps. So I'm going to get back into InDesign. I'm going to add some images. I'm just going to move this logo down to the bottom for a second. And I'm going to say W, press W so I can see my normal view again as opposed to my preview. Or you can change it down here, normal to preview. I'm going to draw an image box, an image frame, and I'm going to draw it from that bleed line, that red line that is tells us where our image bleed is. So I'm going to go File, Place, and locate an image that I've downloaded. And I have a couple on my desktop. And let's just go date by date modify because it will show me that the last. Oh, it's not doing it there. Well, I do have them here. I'm just going to look at them again. I want the Valley one. I want this one, yeah. So it's going to be much too big if I press on my arrow key, my white arrow key, yeah, and I zoom out. Alt or Option to zoom out, you can see that that brown box is the actual image size. So if I click on my white arrow key again and I drag one of the side handles and just shift and drag it so it's proportionately, and I just kind of get it a little bit. But make sure that you maintain, press Command 0 to zoom in again, that you maintain the proportions so that both these numbers are exactly the same, and you make sure that it extends to the bleed line. So I can see actually it doesn't at the bottom here, so again I'm just going to shift and drag it a little bit. That's going to be very important for printing. So I can now, if I press shift and kind of drag it, I can see, I'll get rid of that for a second, press W to kind of see, get rid of everything. If I hover over it and I can see the entire image while I'm dragging. I'm just pressing shift and moving my cursor over. So I think I want that sun in there. I think that's a very positive, it gives it a very positive aspect. And I'm going to change the order. I want the image obviously below the text. So I'm going to go right click and I'm going to go, just click on an object, arrange, and send to back. And I press W, I can see what's going on. So I need to move the text up, put it in that space a little bit. And unfortunately, I do not have the Illustrator file, so this is going to be a JPEG. You can't really get around that because I have this white background unless I took it into Photoshop and deleted the white background. For the time being, the only thing we can do is go Object, Effects, and when I go Transparency, this is really not the best way to do it because it's not going to print properly, but if I press Preview here, you can, this is just a little workaround, so I can go Multiply, and that's not the one I want to do. Overlay, yeah, it's not really going to do it, so unfortunately we're just going to have that white background unless I take it into Photoshop. This is just a way for something like, yeah, InDesign to manipulate the JPEG, but it's really not going to work in my case. So we're just going to have to keep it like that, unfortunately. I mean, one way you could get around that, I guess, is move the image. So you just have like a black box. And that's, yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do. I'll press W again. I'm actually going to move that. Oh, Command Z to undo that. I'm actually going to move this down a little bit. The box, the image box, I'm going to drag the entire image. So I'm just actually redesigning this a little bit because I don't want this, the white of the logo to show. I'm going to move the logo up and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I'm just going to double click on it to make sure, yeah, it's both. The proportions, horizontal and vertical, are the same. I'm going to click on it, click off of it, click on it, and I'm going to Shift Command, and you have to do it very slowly. Shift Option or Alt Command, and just make it a little bit smaller, and then move it up so it fits in that space. And I'm going to move this as well down a little bit. Shift and drag. and press the white arrow key. I'm just going to zoom out, Alt to zoom out, arrow key, white arrow again, and I'm going to shift and drag just so I can get a lot more of that image in there, I think, now that we have it. Well, I don't want too many flowers, but maybe something like that. Right, my arrow keys to move it over. So this isn't the best image for this front, but it's what we got right now. It's going to arrow key up. I'm just going to shift alt drag in the middle just to make it a little bit smaller. Move this down. And because we have this, I'm actually going to change, I don't like these underlines anymore. I'm going to change that paragraph style. Whoops. Yeah, I'm going to change this to underline options, take off the underline. Okay, yeah, there we go, that's better. And I might actually change this entire thing to white. Let's see what happens when I do that. Click off of it. Yeah, I think that's better. It's going to give me a warning now, though, that there's something wrong. So I'm going to do a right click. I'm going to, no, first I have to do, no, right click, redefine. Make sure those are all working now. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right click again, redefine. And save. Command S for save. Okay, so that is that is an image bleed. Now let's do an image wrap, or a text wrap, fine, better to say. Actually, I'll do that in the next video. So next video, this was just a bleed